And welcome everybody once again to the greatest podcast, East Side, this East Coast anyways, where whether you are mashing buttons, whether you're stroking that bus, or whether you are tossing them dice, we have your six on all things gaming. This is Basement Quest. I am Michael Smith, and this...
I am Eddie Jakes.
And we have some exciting, fun show for you guys today. So with the pandemic, we know that a lot of people are kind of sitting back and, you're stuck at home. And hopefully, if everything goes well and everything kind of flows through the way it's supposed to, we can actually get out and get into this beautiful world. Like we said recently, we actually got to the table twice now. Mm-hmm. Once for Ed's adventure and once for my adventure. And it's great. It's just such a different experience to be at the table, gaming with your buddies, the crunching of the chips, the personal jokes that go flying across the table. There's nothing else like it. When that 20 does come up in the whole table, cheers and they screams and you have great ideas. Which, by the way, we always have those ideas that come across. That's fantastic. But that is exactly what this show is going to be about. Have you ever wanted to create your own world? Did you ever just say to yourself, man, there's not enough people around here and we don't have a DM. I got 5 or 7 people that want to play, but we just don't know. We don't have anybody who is a DM. Well, people, we're here to help you with that. As a certified GM and as a certified DM, we're going to give you the secrets and tear it down on how you can make your personal world feel like your world in very minimal time and with very minimal effort.
And this can work for any genre.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be fantasy.
Exactly. You can do it with any one of the ones. You can do a D&D. You can do a Palladium. You can do a TMNT. You can do it with our boys over there at Black Flag. Is it Blackstone or whatever the ones we did just recently before this whole thing. Any of these game systems, the biggest thing that you want to make sure that you guys have is the love for the game, first of all. Mm-hmm. You're going to have your rule mongers. You're going to have what we call your rule lawyers. And if you kind of work with these people, you can make that rule lawyer kind of on your side, sort of say, and work in your benefit. Especially if you're not a bookworm, if you're not one of those guys that want to sit down and read all these things. One of the hardest things that I think, and I don't know about you, when you are a DM and GM, is knowing all the classes, and especially when it comes to like the higher levels, you can't be expected to be like, okay, I know what this guy does. So sometimes the players will hit you with that surprise.
I hate that question. Like, what does a level 15 magic missile do? And
I'm like, well, he knows more than I do. Like ask him.
I mean, even if you're a game master or dungeon master, it's not necessarily mean you've played a level 15 magic user for one.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Like
flipped a page to that at that point. I mean,
I played mostly fighter classes,
and even as a DM, when you do come up with your villains, sometimes they're not. They're earlier in earlier levels when you use magic missile, and then you're like, oh, I forgot all about that. But we're gonna break this down as simply and as efficiently as possible for you guys, because we want you to understand it's not something you should be afraid of. It's not something that should be like.
Should be
fun.
Oh
my God, exactly. You should be excited about it. You should be the first thing that you should come to your mind is the passion that you want to do it. Okay, so you have 5 or 6 friends, like I said, that all want to play, but none of them want to DM. But you decide that you want to DM, that you want to do it. Boom! Right off the bat, you have one thing that the rest of those guys don't have: the passion to actually want to DM, the passion to be the GM.
This works too if you're trying to bring up a game that nobody's played yet. And usually if they can see that you're really 100% into it, even though they may be apprehensive, like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Mike seems pretty passionate about this. Eddie seems pretty excited about this. And just get them to roll up a character. See, look at the classes. See what you think. What would you like to be, And usually end up with the best characters that way.
Exactly.
If you know your friends better than anybody else, you can appeal to their interests a little bit.
And that's the other thing is, before you come up with this world, talk with your friends. Talk what the world is going to be about. Maybe they already have an idea what their character is going to be, just like Ed was saying. And you can work on your backgrounds together. So you can say, hey, look, this is the first time ever I wanted to do a bard, and I'm not really, I'm not too sure how the bard works out. And your DM's like, look, I've personally used a bard before as a character, as a PC. And I'd be more than happy to help you with that. And this is what's worked for me. So you come together and you work as that. No, you got to silence that stupid thing. you come together with your backgrounds and you work with it together as far as that's concerned. As far as your world map, everybody says, oh no, you got to go in there and you have to have a focal point, and your map has got to be set there. No, you can start with a kingdom, a town, and a dungeon for your day one, and then just build from there. You don't have to have this world map from day one, and you don't have to have this huge thing, this huge background. You could tell your guys, they literally start here. You've been here from day one. I mean, some people came across this town. However it may be, you don't have to have a huge world map.
Especially if it's your first time running a game, like don't jump into something where you could easily lose control of the game. You know, so like
details.
Right. Don't like go crazy like, oh dude, I just made this entire continent and there's this town, this king's doing this queen's, this kingdom's here, and then lose control of everything that's going on. Because you got to keep in mind, if you're being thorough and if you're loyal to the story, you need to know the politics of the area. You need to know the motivations of the area. I hate going for the low hanging fruit. You know, it's like, okay, here's a bad guy, kill the bad guy. Here's a dragon, kill the dragon. You know, have a reason for wanting to go there. Like in my own game that I'm running, you know, we've gotten this far, so there's not gonna be any spoilers, but you know, I set it's like I'm running a Dead Rain campaign. Not a lot of dungeons.
No.
What's the next best thing? I was like, ooh, medical supplies, hospital. A hospital can be a dungeon.
Oh yeah.
You know, what if it's like decrepit, it's falling apart, it's infested with zombies, you know, there you go. There's your dungeon.
At night, no power. I mean,
no power.
That's very dungeon-esque. I mean, yeah. I don't know if any of you guys happen to live, but here in Norwich, we have this old funny farm. Essentially, it was a psychiatric hospital, huge. But I'll tell you what, go down there now. I bet you it'll creep the crap out of you.
Oh, I know.
Dungeon? That is a real life dungeon right over there, my friend.
It's a modern dungeon. It's a modern dungeon.
Absolutely.
I'm reminded of a game you ran a long time ago. The locale was simple. Where it was in Ravenloft. We're surrounded by cursed rain. We're stuck in this house.
Yes.
That was it. That was like a 12-hour game.
No, it was. It was crazy. It was fun.
It's like you don't need this whole big thing. It's just like, okay, here's the players. How do I trap them in this house?
Right.
The rain is cursed. They can't leave the house. They're in this house. There's no magical protection. There's nothing they can do.
There's no way of getting around it until you figure out what's holding you back in this house.
And then it's like, now, okay, what's the goal? Okay, this rain is bringing these creatures. Like, what's going on? And it's a curse. Oh, there's ghosts. There's monsters. It was great. It was probably one of the best games.
And that's just exactly it. Like we said, when you have the passion for the game, you don't have to have a huge extravagance. You can build from that. You can take one thing and you can be like, look, from here on out, you guys have opened up this world. And you get home and trust me, after you run your first successful game as a successful DM, your heart's going to be pumping. You're going to be excited. You're going to be like, oh my God. And then just wait, that first text message, it might not be like for a couple hours, or it might not be till the next day, but you're going to get a text message from one of your players. And it's going to be like, great job, man. I'm looking forward to the next game. And when you get that, that's when it does it for you. That's when you're like, I've done it. I've done it. And what we want you guys to realize is that is such a simple feat to accomplish. You don't have to sit down and you don't have to write a 30-page summary. So look, that works for some like that's, yeah, exactly. For some people it works. Absolutely it works. And if that is your shtick and if that is how you do it, I am not telling you not to, but I'm saying to be successful, you do not have to do that. You can take a little story. You can write down little cliff notes. If they go this way, this will happen. If they do this, this will happen. Come up with little things on the side. It doesn't have to be this huge written thing. There's a lot of things out there that make things a lot easier for DMs now, and GMs. I'm sure they have it out there, especially with D&D. It's so easy. They have these things called encounter tables. I mean, literally, and all you have to do is Google it. D&D, 6th edition, 5th edition, encounter tables, 4th edition, whatever you're doing, and you put in the party number, you put in the XP, you put in the terrain that you're at, and this will search and it'll literally pull monsters up for you and how it works out. And then all you got to do, and they even show you the page, DM's, monsters manual, blah, 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 this thing, blah, 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 page there. And there it is. You just open up the book and there's your monsters right there. So simple. Now, if you already have those encounters set, now you go to the photocopy. Now you photocopy those monsters, and now those monsters are sitting right in front of you. There's so many things and so many easy ways that tables and stuff like that shouldn't even be a problem for you. It shouldn't even be a thought for you. The only thing you should be thinking of as a DM and as a new GM is your world. Now, let me ask you this. What, when you are tearing down your world, do you feel is more important? The land or the bad guy?
Well, I can tell you how the current campaign I'm running started, because obviously it varies.
Right.
So when we said we're going to do this, first thing I thought of is like, I need, so you're not constantly making up things. I created the county, the different towns,
Yes.
and I made a map with a campaign cartographer. Not everybody has that, but I had a general idea and I threw some towns in there. That was the extent of it. Threw some towns in, some names. I knew which ones.
And also don't forget, like, you've been doing this for a while as well. You have a lot of experience. This isn't your first rodeo. This isn't your first thing out. So you got a lot of tricks up your sleeve already.
I did that. Let's put that aside. The first actual idea that sparked in my head was I envisioned an army base, I envisioned a quarantine, and I envisioned a crooked military officer. And I was inspired, honestly, by the A-Team.
That was a good movie.
Well, I'm talking the show, just the show in general. But yeah, you get the movie too, where they had that one general who was constantly like hunting him out, and he would show up in the show every now and then. Yep. So I thought about that and just like, okay, what if I had that? And how would I go from there? I'm like, okay, so yeah, get them in this base. It's a limited locale. I got a basic idea of the layout. Essentially, I'm making the board for my board game. Like,
right.
Here's the board. Here's the players, and how do I just get the apocalypse started? That was my motivation. So I do like to have at least one juicy villain in mind, because if you have a good villain and you can keep that villain going, it's always a good way to push the characters into the next.
There's a reason why they're called the antagonists.
Exactly.
Because they're meant to antagonize the players. They're meant to be the thorn in the side. They're meant to be there to. It's the victory, essentially.
Right.
It's the victory. And to go off on that, how do you feel is too long for a villain to stick around for?
Honestly, there's no length of time. I think you got to read the players. I think if you start having games where that villain pops up and the players are just like, no,
this guy again.
Ed and Mike are running out of ideas again. Say this person. Okay, I pull my gun, roll it. If you start getting that kind where if your players seem like they're going through the motions, and there's body language, which we can talk. We can talk about at length, the body language of the players.
Absolutely.
So if it gets to the point where they're kind of slumped in, throwing the dice. I'm sorry, if your players
grabbing their phone.
And the players I'm talking about, because we have a couple. If they're like getting the ass out of the seat, throwing it down, going critical, baby, you're doing a good job.
Yes, absolutely.
You're doing a good job. But if it gets to the point where they're doing the slouch toss, all right,
you've lost them.
Yeah,
unfortunately, you've lost them. Yeah.
So you got to read that, and that's the point where it's like, all right, it's time for this part. It doesn't mean you have to end the campaign. Campaign doesn't have to end with this. But this part of the campaign can end. It's like, okay, right. It's time for some kind of resolution with this villain.
And
because in your D&D game, for like our what we call our classic characters, there
Yes.
you've had the same bad guy fucking with me for like what year is it? But anyway, but that's a great character,
Right.
and it's now become more of a what's the word, tradition.
I think also at this point, the way that she's almost a direct reflection of you now and how you
Yes.
guys kind of like, it's like a story on how you
But
guys
that's
like.
great storytelling.
No, it is. And
That-
and in something like that, you
She becomes your character at that point. It's no
Right.
longer an NPC.
right.
You know, she's your character
Right,
from
right.
the DM chair.
Because you've actually taken that, like you said, it's taken it to a whole other level, a whole other story. When you guys get to that, trust me, that's
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not encouraging DMs like make a character per se,
Right.
and then
because then you get attached
take
to it.
over the game.
You get attached to a character, and that's not good either. Because if a DM has, and here's the other thing, like I've seen this video. I'm not sure what group it is, but there's a DM out there, and he maliciously attacks his group. And like when they come up with ideas and they work, he's like, "Damn it!" Like I think it's all part of
Yes.
the fun of it. Don't be that DM though. I mean,
No.
it is supposed to be the world against the people, but at the end of the day, like if you roll a nat 20 and they're facing a black dragon, and these guys are like down to their last hit points, and that crit's gonna fucking finish off like 2-3 of them. Maybe not have that crit happen. Maybe have a hit happen, but it's you make the dodge a little easier.
Never, like obviously as the DM or the game master, you do have complete control. We'll keep it real.
Right.
There's certain privileges and power that you have as the game master, but you need to still let the dice decide. The dice are supposed to be the ultimate judge.
Right.
And if that character that you've been kind of playing as an NPC dies because one of your players gets those lucky crits, just let it die.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it changes your plans.
One of the ones that we just had recently, my son was playing with us, and they've been chasing after this one guy, and he was a player character, and unfortunately they had to leave, so I turned this player character into an NPC villain. These guys were chasing him for a little bit. I didn't plan on this guy to die at this point, but my son rolled the crit, grabbed the guy by the throat, they fell off the building, he landed on top of him. I had to give it to him, man. It happened. The boss was dead. I mean,
just be willing to let your baby go.
right, exactly. Be willing to roll with it is one of the biggest things. And also to add to that, I want to say that there's so many podcasts out there. Ours is very nice.
It's nice.
We have our buddies over at Journeys. They're very nice as well.
We haven't gotten all bougie or anything.
No. But there are some good podcasts out there that look when you're working and you can pop in an ear thing and just listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to them. Get some ideas. Get some ideas for your worlds before you say. Write down these ideas that you like.
You might think some of our ideas suck,
hey,
but you might think some are good.
exactly.
So
and then
take the good from there. Take the good.
go to the
from
next
the
one. Take from the next one. Exactly.
and find something you're comfortable. You might be the type that's like, oh, I hate villains.
Right.
I like circumstances.
Yeah. Which
know?
absolutely. I mean, I've actually seen some really cool adventures just set around like political freaking espionage and all this shit where there's
They make
not really
games about it,
Right.
So if that's
no,
your thing.
absolutely. And like I said, and that be the case. I'm not gonna lie. You can't come to me for that because I love the classic villain. I'm not gonna lie. I love the thorn in the side.
Villain. I love the villain, and I like the politics of it. So,
Yes.
so all my villains are politicians.
No, absolutely. If there's a deal you can make, it's gonna be made. It's gonna be made. I want to also, like I said, going on with the podcast, it doesn't take any amount of time. Like even like I said, even if you're not watching them, you're just listening to them, you'll get the ideas. They'll come in your head. You'll be able to, focus on different aspects of these games that are important to you.
And for free.
Exactly.
Like
and that's
back
the best
in the day
part.
When we started playing,
had
you had to
nothing.
subscribe to Dragon Magazine.
Oh,
That was
man.
the only publication if you
Or
wanted
read
to.
books. I mean, that was the other big thing.
What few there were.
Yeah.
Because,
True. Absolutely
because,
true.
we were all worshiping Satan back then.
No,
in the
you're
80s,
right. Yeah.
so.
No, I couldn't believe that. That was crazy. How we turned around.
I know, right?
It's so incredible. It's so incredible.
Now you got like movie stars playing, like Vin Diesel and Joe Manganiello on there. Joe Manganiello's got a whole
Oh my
room.
God,
I
dude,
guess.
he was fantastic, man. He actually, I wouldn't mind having him, and he showed up for. We're gonna hit that later.
Oh yeah,
too.
we're gonna talk about.
We're gonna hit that too. It was cool seeing him. That was great.
Yeah.
But I do want to emphasize when you do decide, hey, look, I'm gonna DM, I'm gonna GM. One of the biggest things that you can do is have a feast at your house or wherever you're gonna game.
Mm-hmm.
Have a big feast. Make your characters that day. Introduce each other. Even do like a small little tavern adventure where they meet, so you don't have to have this whole meet and greet during the actual game. Get that world, get that feel, get everything going, and leave that little bit of excitement. So when you actually do your game, people are looking forward to it. And when you get that text going, hey guys, I'm looking forward to doing on this game. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, and when you're making characters too, like do some like skirmishes. So like if someone's not familiar with the rules and they're like, I'm not quite understand this magic combat. I'm like, okay, well here's a scenario, and you put them in. You're this, and that.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
You know, the attacker rolls this, so
right?
So at this point, you would roll that, or you look at this score. If this score, that score doesn't match, you get the idea.
Right.
I mean, there's so many different rules and stuff.
Yeah, because it's a very, very good point. You might not be the only new player there. You might actually, or the new person as far as a DM, GM is concerned. You might have a new player there. Somebody who's never even played a role-playing game before and is completely lost. But
do you know how many people out there want to play?
Oh, I know. I see it all the time. I see it on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
I wish we had a DM in our area. I wish we had more players in our area. And don't get me wrong. The way that the internet is designed, I think it's Roll20, right? We've talked about this before.
Roll20,
Roll20. There's a couple other
Fantasy Grounds is
right,
there,
and they're really good about it. Like if this is your thing and you want to do it, by all means, dude. There's so many opportunities for you to do this.
There's even people that are just playing over Zoom.
Right, absolutely. Dude, absolutely. And you know what? If your group is that tight where you're not really worried about the dice rolls and you're more worried about
if you got one of these, you can find a game.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm also here to tell you the roots of where role-playing games came from, whereas was at the table. It was sitting across from each other where you can see each other act. You can feel the emotions in the room. It's a different feeling when you're at that table. And if you get the opportunity to do this, do it, because you can't pass it up. You can't pass it up. This is how it was intended to play. No matter what you play, no matter how you play it, at the table at least one time, you got to do it. You got to do it, man. I mean,
this all started with all war games and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And people love reliving the Civil War and the World War II games. It's where it all started. So
the biggest thing, what if? How could I have won that? How could I have turned that around? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Battle of the Bulge. How would I have done it?
How would I have done it different? Right, exactly. Could it have changed?
What if we lost the war? What would this look like? What would things like that?
That's a big one, right? Exactly.
Which actually would bring into another thing that I'm thinking important. What kind of materials should have? So if you're running a first time game, what kind of materials would you have? Because let's forget that you've been spending years painting miniatures and doing all that. At a minimum, you're starting a game. What should you have?
You got to have dice, first and foremost. You have to have paper. You got to have that GM DM book, no matter what. It's got it. Even if you're not reading it page for page, it's there for a reference. You need the player's manual. And let me tell you why. You just need to have it there because it'll give you an idea of the character classes, because the DM's guide, GM's guide is not going to have that. That is specifically for the players. Not saying you're not supposed to look at it, but it's there because this isn't everybody can access it. The GM's guides are not accessible by the players. The players cannot just grab onto this DM guide and be, hey, let me go look through this. Yeah. It is not. That is your Bible. That is your Bible to the world and your rules that you have to follow by. Now,
at least get a general grasp of the rules.
A
general grasp of the classes. So you know that, like, you at least know enough that if a characters like, well, I'm going to be this race and I'm going to play this class, that you know enough to say, I believe there's restrictions. Can you at least double check?
Right, exactly.
You don't have to be like, well, actually.
And going back to the whole, hey, if there's a rules lawyer there, hey, yeah, he's not lying.
There'll be one.
If there's a rules lawyer at the table, make him your buddy. That's the best way to be, because he'll be the first one to be like, no, that doesn't work like that, and you'll be like, how does that work exactly? And
I know he's listening. I'm going.
And that's just that, like, as a DM, you're not, I just want you to understand this. Get this through your head. This is the biggest thing. You're not expected to know all the rules. The players are not going to look right to you and be like, why don't you have the rules? Why don't you have the answers? It's not like that. This is a game that's meant to be played with a group of people. And if you don't have the answers, somebody has the answers. Mm-hmm. And especially if it's their character. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing that they don't know their character.
Have a good idea where to look, because, I mean, the book's there. You can open the book and look. Try not to take too much time going through books, because you've essentially put the game at a standstill. No,
absolutely.
And it will kill the vibe.
It does. You want to kind of get a steady pace, but you want to get it right as well, which leads me to another one, a.k.a. the house rule. If there's a question that you just can't find it, and you don't have somebody that's, been there forever and they don't have the answer, you can't find it on Google, take a die. 20-sider, 6-sider, whatever you want to be. Call it high or low. If it's low, then it goes this way. If it's high, then it goes this way. You don't question it. You continue playing it. At the end of the day, if you find out the answer, good on you. Your lesson learned. The game never stopped. It didn't affect it, say, too much, but it allows you to move it forward and not, like Ed says, sit there and flip through the pages. Mm-hmm. Don't kill that vibe. There's nothing worse than when you're trying to create that spooky element and you hear the pages flipping and you're like, hold on one second.
Some of these rounds can take time as it is between combat, getting more little combat if there's magic involved.
Exactly, and especially the way
you want to move it as fluid as possible. If you got to constantly stop and read the book. And big ups to Dungeons and Dragons for having the cards now.
Oh, yes.
That makes it a lot easier.
It does.
If you're playing another system, encourage your players to, if they take certain spells, write down exactly what it does. So
just drop that money into those cards. He's not lying. I mean, and a lot of these companies are doing it now. Palladium's doing it, and a lot, No, not yet. I mean, they should. But a lot of these companies are doing it now, and it's so helpful. And they're really inexpensive. Even Warhammer, which 40K is the most ridiculous when it comes to expenses, even Warhammer is making their cards cheaper. Let me phrase it like that. Okay.
That's all. One thing I'm going to throw out, everything you said, yes, definitely you need all that. If you can, obviously Dungeons and Dragons have their own shields.
Yes.
But make your own.
Yes. And put all the important charts. That's what I did. I have a D&D chart, but I literally glued my own stuff on there. The stuff that I constantly want to go through, because sometimes you look at that chart and it's like, level up. I don't need to know what the next level up is.
I know. I grabbed a great product from Stratagem. You've seen it, that shield I have, where you can put your own inserts in. I made a bunch of inserts on Excel or whatever spreadsheet program you use, and I've got tables. I've got reference guide to pages in the book. So if I do got to stop and look at the book, I can flip through it.
Boom, it's right there. We're not saying that the time isn't going to happen, because the time stoppage is going to happen. Exactly. You can't help it. But if you can minimize it, if you can minimize the amount of time that you're taking going through those books, it makes it more enjoyable for everybody there. Absolutely.
Yes. Try to do what you can to keep the thing going, even to the point where if it's like, don't keep stopping reading the book for like petty skills or something. Just be like, just roll.
Right, exactly. And like I said, when
just roll.
Just when it comes to that house roll, it's like whatever, high, low, boom. Okay, I'll give it to you, and then question it later. Yeah. Oh hey, I found that out, by the way, guys, and this is how it's supposed to work. And then everybody will remember that.
It is literally impossible for these games to cover every possible scenario.
Oh my God.
It's like you got to use your logic as much as possible. It's like It's like, okay, will the stealth skill let me do this? And it's kind of on the. It's not really stealth, but it's kind of stealth.
Right.
Use your best judgment, and like I said, the best just roll.
And as far as like, if you guys want to use miniatures, yes, some of the miniatures out there are kind of expensive, and maybe you don't want to paint them. You don't even have to do that. Buttons, quarters, Legos, Lego dudes. I mean, you can grab one of those whiteboards now, and they actually have the grids on them now. You can do your dungeons on that. You don't have to spend them. It does make it nicer. Is it nice to have a fully painted miniature out there and everything all cool and dungeon? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does it really
cheap
add
paper miniatures off a
Right.
drive-through RPG?
But does that really add to the ambiance of D&D? No. Does it add to the ambiance of Palladium? No, it doesn't. What adds to it is you. What adds to it is the world that you create and how you guys come together as a group. That is the most important thing.
Yes.
And we just, like I said, we want you to realize it's so easy. So if you're listening to this and you're on the edge, me and Ed will tell you right now, you can do it. And not only can you do it, you can be one of the best out there. Guaranteed. All you got to do is have the heart for it and a little bit of time. And you're going to make your players and your world outstanding.
And don't forget the snacks.
No, yeah, you need
don't forget
snacks.
snacks.
You need snacks. I mean, you're going to snacks all the time.
Yeah, you need snacks.
So, let's just break it down, man, because everybody, if anybody hasn't seen it, and we're gonna say right now, spoiler alert, leave if you haven't seen the Zack Snyder Justice League. It's on HBO Max right now. Dropped yesterday.
4-hour monster.
It is a 4-hour. It didn't feel like it though.
Honestly, it didn't.
It at the first hour did. The first hour did. I looked up and I was like, and I even hit the control thing and I was like, yikes. That was only an hour, huh?
To put it in perspective, if you've ever sat down and watched Titanic from beginning to end, this is longer than that.
This is like Dancing with Wolves shit right here, people.
Yes.
This is Dances with Wolves.
So, I mean, obviously, we're going to give you our honest opinion on it. Everything we love.
Here, I have a new one for this. You need a beverage, or you?
I'm good for now. Thank you. So we'll give you our honest opinion on it, what we liked, what we didn't like, whether or not this is worth checking out. So we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Spoiler alert!
Alert!
This is your last chance because we got to talk about it, people. It's, everybody is talking about it.
Spoiler
alert! All right, here we go. Right off the bat.
Honestly, right off the bat, we should say largely it's not so much of a spoiler. The themes and plot of the movie is pretty much the same.
No, it is. No, he's absolutely right.
So,
he's absolutely. If you've already seen the Justice League, it hasn't. No, it's not like, oh my god, it's a whole new movie. It's not like Thanos didn't snap. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not one of those things. I know. But you do get to see Darkseid. And dude,
I liked him.
Darkseid looked fucking great, dude. And when they put him down, when Ares put that axe in him, dude, and he was bleeding first of all, they didn't shy away from the gore in this, which I loved.
No, there's no. Here's the thing: this is a movie made by somebody who has
love
very
for the
little
comics
restrictions
and love for the DC universe. Let's just say that he loves the DC. Whether you love,
you know what? I'll say he loves the mythos at least. I don't know if he loves the mythos of these characters.
All right, come on. Some of the slow motion. He loves comics.
That's Zack Snyder, though.
He loves comics, though. All those, even at the end of it, when it was, the Justice League pano, it was like we had 5
a much
angles.
better one.
No, it was.
It was
a
a
much
much better pano. But,
it was.
So,
but we didn't need all 5 of them, Zach. All 5 of them. It was like 5 different comic book scenes. It was great.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There's a lot in this movie I think they could have cut out to make it shorter, but this is definitely a movie where
it's a director's cut.
The studio basically gave him money and said, "Go ahead, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter at this point."
Yeah, we're breaking up with you anyways. spend
Or will they?
whatever you
Or will they?
I don't know. That's a good question.
They did it because everyone was like, release a Snyder cut, release a Snyder cut. I don't know if you've had it. I'm trying not to be so negative here, but I don't know if you've been on Twitter today. Josh Whedon is getting his ass handed to him.
He's getting tore up. Now
Let's put the bat. I know he's got a lot of complaints and stuff by the Buffy cast and all that. Let's put that aside. We'll just
yes,
focus
can
on
we
the
please
movie.
put that aside because that's
Not
fucked
that-
up.
no, it's fucked up.
That's fucked up. And I am a Sarah Michelle Gellar
I love Sarah Michelle
horn
Gellar.
dog. You know that.
And Charisma Carpenter.
Oh my god! And Charisma got done
Yeah.
dirty, man. But let's
Come
not.
to they all seem to. Well, fuck it, we're talking about it. They all seem to have gotten done
yes.
dirty.
Yes.
You know, but here's the thing: I've always known Josh Whedon was an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
If you just watch his tweets, and people are. Here's the thing too that I find funny, and I might even say this a little later on Twitter. Like people, I try not to get too negative on my Twitter,
Just
but
watch Buffy. You'll know how much of an asshole he is.
no, but like people are shitting on what he did with Justice League. Like this is the worst thing he's ever done. Has anyone ever seen Alien Resurrection? Like he wrote that movie. Like I remember like when that movie was coming out, and they're just like written by Joss Whedon.
and we
I'm
were
like, oh, the guy from Buffy.
We were excited for it too.
And then I was like, what the hell is this?
That was the perfect movie where the preview had nothing to do with the movie. Like when you went to go see that movie, you were like, dude, where was the alien? You saw that, right?
What
It was
the
like
hell?
they like shot scenes for a preview. And they never made it to the
Yeah.
movie. I
got awful.
Dude, it was
Granted,
bad.
Josh Whedon did not direct it or produce it, whatever. He doesn't get any blame for that, but he wrote that screenplay, and just based on that, I think he should be fired from life.
I
But-
agree.
So Josh Whedon is getting his ass handed to him, like. And here's the thing too. Like I mean, I know you said you thought it was a perfect movie. I said
Okay.
I won't call
Okay.
it perfect.
Yes, I
understand.
agree.
You were still high on it.
I am very high on it.
And I
I am
was.
very high on it. I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very high on it. I was smiling like a child at a fucking candy store last night. I'm not gonna lie. All the little Easter eggs that they threw in there, dude. I was eating them up. I was eating them all up, and I was enjoying them. The parademons.
They
Dude.
actually look scary.
They were awesome. They were, and then did you notice the Earth ones? They had more skull, like
They were different,
Dude.
So they had different parademons.
from different
You
worlds.
know, they weren't like comical. Like in the theatrical one, I don't know. They kind of
Oh
like
my god, yeah.
what do you call it? Like
They were like the monkeys, the flying monkeys from freaking from Wizard, of
Yeah,
Oz.
exactly.
That's what I thought they were.
yeah,
Man.
and it's like, I mean, knowing parademons at comic level like we do, and then what was actually given to us, it was like, and don't get me wrong, when I first saw Justice League, I actually liked it,
Yes.
and there's still a lot of stuff that I like in that movie that I now know Zack
Steppenwolf.
Snyder didn't do. Steppenwolf was weak as a villain.
It was so terrible, and his voice, like, I don't know, like it didn't seem like they did much to his voice, but they gave him like this echoey, boomy thing.
Yes.
And it worked. And his armor. Oh my god, his
that was intense.
armor was great.
Intense. The actual shape of his head was
Yes.
changed.
Yes.
Where a Steppenwolf in the theatrical one is more. It was more. It
was like a
and in this one,
horseshoe-ish.
it's kind of more devilish.
Right, right.
I like that choice. A lot more built. You know.
Yes, he
shape-wise.
was. Like his
Like, when he
shoulders
walked,
went in.
Yeah, when he walked, you kind of can see the muscle tone through the armor.
Yeah.
The greatest CGI ever? No.
No.
Considering this was all done after the fact, you know, and stuff like that. Really good job. I felt bad for the actor that played him.
Right.
I think he and I guess that actor has actually gone on record and said he did not like the theatrical version, and he's much happier with
Oh, I'm
this.
glad. I'm glad.
Because
Good.
it's the same performance, same voice.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought it was
It
the
is.
same
All the same.
voice, but they like
The
boomed
motion
it.
capture was all the same by that actor and stuff. And
Oh, the
they just
facial.
redid all.
Dude, when he got when Superman first pummeled him and he realized what was going on, dude, that facial reaction was perfect, man. I was like, dude, like, all right. So break it down from the beginning. Obviously, you get Superman. They break it down. Superman's booming. He's screaming. You're getting the sound waves, and his screams wake up the mother boxes.
Right.
because
which they explain in the movie, and
they're
they
afraid
do,
of him. Right, exactly. So they were quiet and they were sleeping this whole time because Superman was still alive. Now that they heard his death scream, they know he's dead, and they know that they can actually break free and start trying to search for one another.
Yes.
So it wasn't the fact that, they weren't, hey, look, these protectors have protected. No, they were actually afraid that Superman was on here, which if you weren't paying attention, you could have missed that. And that's a really crucial thing. This is why they did what they did and brought Superman back. They knew this. They knew that Wonder Woman wasn't going to be enough. Aquaman, all these guys weren't going to be enough. They knew they needed Superman. Who said that? Batman said that. Out of anybody, he said, we need him. Like, there was no questions.
On that note, compared to the other one, where it seems like it seems more like Batman wants to do it out of guilt in the theatrical one. He's like, oh, I did this. Everything's my fault. And,
he brought up faith a lot in this one.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah.
He was saying faith
his
a lot.
His tone is very different in the Snyder cut. Whether you like that or not is kind of, it's not.
I don't
very
think
Bruce
he
Wayne,
realizes.
Batman-ish, but
Here's me. I don't think he realizes he has to make the ultimate sacrifice yet.
yeah.
I think he thinks at this point they're actually turning it around. That they're gonna win this. You know what I'm saying? Like that he's stopped that nightmare, and that's why he's like, you got to have faith. I got faith. And he was kind of nonchalantly smiling throughout it.
We gotta remember too, like this is not Batman early years kind of thing.
No,
this is
Batman
Dark
Beyond.
Knight Returns.
Yeah. You're right. No,
Beyond,
not Bond. You're right. Dark Knight Returns. Yes. Against
Batman.
a mutant, shit like that. Like
Right.
he's
So
old.
he's older,
He's broken
you know.
down. He's looking for something. Like he knows that the world isn't right, but he also knows that he's not right for the world anymore.
They don't do. Honestly, both versions don't. And even Batman v Superman don't really do a good job of explaining that either. So unless you really know the comics and know the costume, the way he did the costume, you really don't understand.
Big giveaway
that. So
right there.
Some of the dialogue that Bruce Wayne has in the movie makes a lot more sense when you look at it from that perspective. When he says things like, Aquaman's like, oh, you're just like a bat, and he's like worked in Gotham for 20 years. Dialogue like that. It kind of lets you know like he hasn't really been Batman up until Batman v Superman. He might have taken a break.
He took a break.
He was just running his business and stuff like that, and then came back because of Superman, and then started like torching. After Superman came, then he came back and started torching the shit out of villains.
Yes. Then he started killing people. Oh no, Batman don't kill people. Yes, he does.
So I mean, look, understanding that aspect to it, I think makes you more sympathetic to Batfleck.
Yes.
And
I liked him. You know what's funny is
I ate Crow.
I didn't like him in Justice League, and I liked him in this one. If it's, you know what I'm saying?
You mean
like,
Batman v Superman?
No, I didn't like him in Justice League, and I liked him in the Zack Snyder Justice League.
I see what you're saying, the Josh Whedon one, yeah.
Right, because it kind of, like you said, it kind of seemed like he was very guilt-driven. There was a whole lot of guilt. I'm doing this for him. I made a promise for him. And in this one, like I said, he brought up a lot of faith. There was a lot of, I got a lot of faith in this one. I got to believe in this one, Alfred. If I don't, that's what he kept saying. If I don't have this, then I have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his thing. That's what he was going for. And I really liked that.
Yeah. With this one too, like, so with the theatrical one, at just some point, they're just like, we got to bring back to life. This one gives you more information of how they discovered that they could even do that.
I like that.
And it has a lot to do with Cyborg.
Yes. Cyborg had a lot more in this. Thank you.
Fucking Cyborg, Ray Fisher for the win,
dude, he was great. He was great.
If you know what? Because I've already heard they're pissed off at him because he complained about Josh Whedon. Like, if you don't put that man back in a fucking movie,
yes.
This is going right out to Warner Brothers and the head of DC. You don't like comics.
I agree. That guy put his heart and soul into that, man.
In the one we got in the theater, it was like, okay, I liked him, but we
got nothing though. Nothing. I told Amy, because Amy never saw the Josh Whedon one. She just saw this one. And she was like, well, I don't get, and I was trying to tell her, and I was like, okay, you ready? Ready? That's when he comes in.
There's already YouTube videos
And you're like,
comparing them. Just have her watch one of those.
Right, exactly. And I was like, but that's when he comes in right now. And she was like, but what about all that from before? You didn't get to see any. You didn't see any of that. But it made sense.
He just showed up. I'm pissed at my dad because he did this to me. Oh, you want me to join a team? Fuck that.
Oh, and here's the box.
Here, I get that. And it's like, okay, I liked him, just like I would have liked to learn more about him or anything. And they go ham on Cyborg in the Snyder Cut.
They did. I loved it. Hey, heck, even Barry West having
Barry Allen.
Barry Allen. That's
two Flashes mixed together.
I know. I know. My bad. But there was the little when he was at the interview. Dude, first of all, I don't care if anybody gets hate, okay? Throw the hate all you want. Everybody knows that the Quicksilver slow down speed time method was the greatest ever. And all Zack Snyder did was do that again. I'm sorry, that was perfect. Even when he took the little hot dog and put it in his... Everybody knows that's how the Speed Force is supposed to work.
Yes.
Like... We have the
they've been doing
WB is. I was going to say exactly. CW's been doing it forever. Like I don't get why Josh Whedon didn't incorporate just that little bit just to show you.
It's clear he didn't give a shit about the Flash.
No, I know. I agree because the Flash once again that was another guy that had very little time, but once again on the Zack Snyder, the moments that he had were so perfect. Did you not like out of everybody? He was the only one smiling the entire movie. Cheese eating, so happy to be a part of this team, dude. That was just, he was like, in my opinion, he's like the Hawkeye of the team, the heart and soul of that team.
I was really happy with. Okay, so obviously Wonder Woman is beautiful. He sees Wonder Woman, he's still crushing on her a little bit.
Yes.
But in the Josh Whedon version, he was borderline creepy.
He was very creepy.
Like that scene where he lands on top of her and then quickly gets off. I'm glad. I was like, I didn't know that was like, I didn't know that was
good fucking call, dude. I forgot that scene.
Well, they had that beautiful scene where she's leaping for her sword and he's just like,
and then
pushes
he
it right into her hand.
to her.
And at that's like the best scene. I'm just like, that's teamwork.
Right.
I'm like, this is Justice League.
That's exactly it. It's funny you brought that up. I completely forgot about that.
Instead, we get that scene where he lands on top of her and shit, and it makes both characters a joke.
Yeah. And then the best part, the only comment he makes is, she thinks she's into younger guys.
That was funny though.
And what does fucking Cyborg say?
She's 5,000
years old.
Every guy's a younger guy.
Guy is a younger guy. Like
that's funny though.
He didn't even dog it. It was perfect. Obviously you saw the My Man where he caught him. Right before that, Barry Allen jumps into fucking Aquaman and he apologizes to him. He feels so bad because Superman jukes him out the way. Watching Superman enter the Speed Force, that was cool. I know they had it in the Josh Whedon version, but they kind of like added a little bit more into this one, into the Zack Snyder.
I don't think he went into the Speed Force, did he?
You saw him when he was like looking at him. And then he literally shifted.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not technically.
I know what you're saying. Okay,
he's not technically in the Speed Force.
You see him like see Barry regardless of how fast he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was in Josh Whedon's, but it was extended more in Zack Snyder's. And
you can tell what footage is Zack Snyder's in that one because of the mustache. The CGI mustache is not there.
No, they did a great job.
Well, he didn't have the mustache when he filmed with Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And they did this horrible job like CGIing over it. But
the suit.
I liked it.
I thought it was perfect. And now you guys got to realize, for those of you who aren't Superman fans, you know why he did the black suit, right?
It helps him absorb from
the sun. Exactly.
Because he's just been brought back to life.
Exactly.
He's technically not full. He's not full.
And
capacity.
He was buried.
Yes.
He was buried. He was under the earth, away from the sun. If you guys have ever watched the Flashpoint, was the one with Batman. It was Thomas Wayne was alive and not Flashpoint Paradox, where
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
well
think
that
that's it, yeah.
that one Superman was actually super weak, and the reason why was because they kept him in a government basement. And when the sun finally hit him, he finally started getting his powers, and he didn't know how to control them because he was poof, like gone.
So obviously, we had a lot of criticism with Batman v Superman and bringing
Yes.
in Doomsday, but it's done. Nothing you can do about it.
Nothing. No, it's over.
One of the reasons, if you actually read that comic, which was a three issues,
Yes.
3-issue spread, the reason Doomsday was even able to kill Superman is because he was worn down.
Yes.
And his energy depletes, and he did manage to kill Doomsday at the last minute, but Doomsday ended up killing him because he was completely between constant heat vision, the fighting and everything, couldn't absorb the sun's
Yeah,
rays
that was
faster.
going on, and not to mention when the fight finally ended, it was nighttime.
Yeah,
It was so you're talking about almost 12
Right.
hours of them fighting
burning
on the
off
ground.
more energy than,
Right.
than absorbing sun
Right.
rays, and that's how Doomsday was even able to kill him. So it
Right.
was like it was really a
And plus he
rocky
was-
fight. Just fight.
Plus,
till
he was
worn out.
Kryptonian, or Doomsday being Kryptonian as well, was able
Yeah.
to take in the sun, and he doing the same thing. So he's getting just as much back. I mean, so he was literally doppelganging himself.
So that's the big reason for the black suit. It's not really explored a lot in the movie.
Right.
So
It's not. It just doesn't look cool.
lot
Yes,
of
it
you
does look
people-
cool, but
yeah, a lot of you, what do they call them, normies that just watch these movies, I guess. No disrespect, but if you just watch a movie, that's fine. But understand that was where the black suit comes
Right.
from. It's not because it's edgier or whatever.
right,
like
he
that.
wasn't an edgelord. Like he didn't put it on because it was-
in the movie, his blue suit's still there.
Right, exactly.
And he
There is
choo-
no black. Right, exactly. Which I hated, and I love the fact that they threw this on him because that's what he did. Like, and you could see all the different suits that he had too. I love the
Yeah, like his regular blue suit is in the ship in the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
He just doesn't put that one on. He
Right.
puts on the black one, and there's a reason for it. He actually wore that black one. If we're going to the original movies, the Superman Returns, he was wearing a black one when he first comes back to the
Yes.
planet because he hasn't been in the sun. He needs to absorb the sun rays.
Right.
And it's like the Kryptonians all wear black too, so it's a traditional Kryptonian, suit because Zod
Right.
wore it and all that. But yeah, there's a reason for the black suit. It was cool that they put that in there. Just add something different. Do we want him in the blue suit? Of course we do.
Yeah, I love the blue suit. But
Yeah.
the black suit was just symbolic of him being weaker, like because he needed that. And then that also tells you, I mean, he still fucking beat Steppenwolf's ass.
Oh, geez. All right.
I mean, go ahead, break it.
So, all right. So the way the theatrical one kind of ends is your typical cheesy comic book ending, where the parademons suddenly sense fear and like they took. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: at this point, I'm already disliking Steppenwolf as a villain.
And we don't care.
And if he gets a little bitch ending, I'm like, this is what you deserve.
Right.
Because I wasn't. And actually, we should say this about Steppenwolf, like give you an idea where he's kind of improved. So in the theatrical one, he's more of a megalomaniac, all powerful, whatever. He mentions Darkseid once.
Right. And in this one,
he's
he
a
is
desperate man.
begging for forgiveness. He
Yes.
wants anything to come back into his army, and this is his last chance, and he knows it.
Yeah,
he knows he has no more shots left.
He is. These are all acts of a desperate.
As a matter of
man
fact,
trying to get back. To
he's
his will.
messing up so bad that the Oracle there guy, the Shani, right? Is Shanid? I think it's Shanid.
The one that keeps talking.
yeah.
It starts with a D.
Oh yeah,
Desaad.
Desaad. So he tells him, you need to do this 50,000 more fucking times, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, he owes. Here's the thing: he owes Darkseid a number of worlds.
that's how much he owes him.
But here's his opportunity to make everything right in one shot.
Right, exactly.
So it's like he's like, I can get the 3 mother boxes,
And-
and then he discovers this is the planet where he was beaten. Which how do they not know that? That's the only thing I found a little weird.
I kind of I was looking for that because it seemed like they lost how this information was lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's so, I mean, I thought about that. I was like, well, maybe the guy that had the directions got killed or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the navigator was assassinated.
Yeah,
that was the deal. He was
like,
the only
God
one.
damn it, you have
he
the
was the
map?
only one who knew how to come back here.
Joe had it, boss, the new guy.
What happened to him? He got evaporated. What the fuck, man?
Oh, this purple guy snapped his fingers and he turned to dust. I don't know.
He was gone. That's so bad.
Like, but so yeah, so the motivations behind Steppenwolf are much better in this one.
Yes. The desperation is there.
There's little things too that were missing from the theatrical run that kind of define his character. One of them is his own, like he's got this thing for Wonder Woman,
Yes.
which I like. a lot.
Amazonian. He kept
And
calling her
the
out.
First time, because he kills the fuck out of
He
the
beat the
Amazonians
shit
in
out
the
of
beginning
them. Yeah, he did.
And there's the first time they encounter Steppenwolf, and it's kind of the same as the theatrical run. They're on that thing there, and
A little bit more brutal.
a little more
There's-
brutal, but the
there's-
scenario is the same. Some of the dialogue is similar. Actually, Steppenwolf's dialogue is a little different.
It's a little. Yeah,
It's a little better too.
Oh,
so
it's- yeah.
Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf are staring each other down. His axe is kind of in the ground next to him, and he just kind of has it like almost Western like thing where he's just like he's licking his lips. He wants a fight with the Amazonian, and him and Wonder Woman go at it, and it's much better.
Oh, it was.
much
It
better
was. It
fight.
was.
And it just that moment you get a better idea of his character. It's like
Well, not only that, when she takes him,
yeah.
there is so much behind that head. That when she takes that head at the end, you're just like,
Oh yeah,
you felt it. You were like, "Fuck yeah, woman! Yes, yes,
So-
yes."
There's two pretty good. There's some pretty good money shots in the movie where Superman kind of blazes off his ear with the heat vision.
Dude, that was
Beats the
awesome.
snot out of him.
That was
Aquaman
awesome. Takes his
spears him.
armor down. Takes his armor down,
Yes.
yo. Like I was like, what?
Aquaman spears him with the trident, and
Oh, right
and
through. Oh,
he launches him back into the.
the flying
Dog.
7-Up can.
Thanks, Doug. Crack the door for me. He probably wants to walk out. So Aquaman tosses him into the air, and as he's going into what do they call it? That tube there, the warp tube or whatever they call it, to go back to Darkseid. As he's throwing him in there, Wonder Woman lops his head off. There is no more Steppenwolf.
No, and
Whereas the
head
other movie kind of left
lands
it open.
right at the foot of
Darkseid.
Darkseid, and he crushes this dude's head. I was like, he's like, yeah, okay, you beat my dude, whatever.
You know what? Here's the thing. This is where I wish they had a little more background into this. If you read comics, you already know this. The thing with Steppenwolf too is Steppenwolf is an elder relative
Yes.
of Darkseid. He's not like a kid brother or something.
Right.
He's an elder relative, but Darkseid is the more powerful. And this guy's begging, like I don't know if it's like his nephew or something for forgiveness. I forget the lineage, but there's
It's
a
like-
family relation.
It's
there,
like
if I
it's
remember
like
correctly.
Scar and fucking Simba.
Exactly.
Essentially, and it's
Yeah.
like Scar trying to get back into Simba's kingdom, and he's like, "Run away, motherfucker!" You know?
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of crazy action, and the action's great. I'll never knock Zack Snyder. He does
No.
know how to do a good action
Nope.
scene.
No, it is. It
he
is.
does get a little crazy with the slow motion.
Yeah, the slow mo.
But-
We can't take it away from him. He ain't lying. The slow motion is Zach. You do got to back off, buddy. But whatever. It's your thing.
No, here's the thing. Like I said to you on Facebook, is it a perfect film? No way. Is it a vastly better film than what we got? Hell yes.
Yes.
Hell
Epilogue
yes. And-
breakdown.
And I'm gonna eat some crow, because as you know, I've been very critical of Zack Snyder in these movies. Now seeing what happened with Justice League and getting this opportunity to see what he would have done had obviously he'd lost his daughter, nothing you can do about that,
Right.
But clearly they didn't bring someone in just to finish what Zack Snyder was doing. They brought someone in
right.
to change it.
Right.
They didn't like what he was doing for whatever reason because they got DCC's Marvel and they gotta understand that what works in Marvel not necessarily gonna work for DC.
Exactly.
But seeing this, I'm
excited.
seeing the atrocity of Wonder Woman 84,
Oh man.
and it's clear to me that the worst thing that's happening to these films is the fucking studio.
Exactly. lack of direction,
I'm now
of
giving
faith.
I'm giving Patty Jenkins the pass for Wonder Woman. I'm now realizing Zack Snyder's not the problem with the DCEU. Obviously, Aquaman and Shazam and the first Wonder Woman turned out great.
We have no problems with those.
No problem with those.
I even watched Liquid Thor again, and I gotta say, it's better than Thor.
It is.
It is better. The acting is better than Thor. I got nothing. I mean, his parents were the fucking steal of the show. I watched it again, and it's fucking Django Fett and fucking.
I love the Aquaman movie. It was great.
It was good.
And I love Shazam. It was fun.
Oh, Shazam was fun.
You know?
Shazam was just straight fun. If you are on the edge and you have yet to watch Shazam, do yourself a favor. Put that in. You are gonna love it. You are gonna love it.
Yeah. All that being said, and Patty Jenkins has even said that because they offered to let her do Justice League first and foremost, and she turned it down. She said, "But I might be open to doing sequels depending on how they turn out." It clearly, Patty Jenkins and Zack Snyder have a clear vision for the DCEU, and you need to let them make their fucking movies.
I agree with what you're saying.
Let them make their fucking movies the way they want to make them, whether you like it
because they're making us happy. Comic book. I'm telling you right now, as a comic book reader, I am happy.
So I'm starting this with Wonder Woman 84. Release the Jenkins cut. Hashtag release the Jenkins cut.
Yes, let's do it. Let's see how this world. Let's see how this world could have been, man. I'm telling you, this is how you got to do it. You guys want to compete with Marvel right now?
We got to get J.J. Abrams.
Let's not even fucking start. WandaVision was fucking on fire, people.
Oh god, that was
WandaVision was. Did you watch the whole thing
from beginning to end,
dude?
Best television ever.
Thank you, dude. From the White Vision to Agatha all along, man.
Was it Agatha all along?
It was Agatha all along.
I gotta tell you, like, I was apprehensive about these Marvel shows, but the WandaVision is freaking fire.
We got
today. Today is Friday for all of you listening, and it is the premiere of.
Oh, it is. That's right. Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I'm gonna be excited about that one. That looks good too.
After that, we got Loki coming.
Yes.
Pretty excited for that.
Yep.
And I don't know when they're
Johnny Woo's supposed to get his own little movie or his own little show now too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
And people and let me tell you, if you guys missed his little things going on, he was obviously an Ant-Man. And Ant-Man is kind of hit or miss. And Ant-Man and the Wasp is kind of hit or miss. You know, Johnny Woo. I'm sorry, Johnny Woo. Yeah.
I still have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I've seen
they're
the first
okay. They're okay, but Johnny Woo is awesome. And he does these little things like he learns magic from what's his face? Ant-Man.
Strange?
No. From just the little hand thingies, the hand gestures, right?
Oh, the card tricks.
Right.
He does it in WandaVision.
And that's exactly it. He does it in WandaVision, dude. And I was like, yes, thank you. Because
and we got a great in that show. If you haven't seen WandaVision by now,
watch him.
Spoiler alert.
Watch him.
We got a great Monica Rambeau character.
Oh my god.
So I'm looking forward. Hopefully she can improve Captain Marvel because I think that's trash.
Yes,
I don't mind saying it.
I agree.
I didn't like.
There's and Darcy was fucking great in WandaVision, dude.
Awesome.
Dude, people and this is the other thing. DC, you got oh my god, dude. Natalie Portman ripped for her role in the freaking Thor. Dude, she looks great.
I haven't seen any previews.
Look it up, man. The biceps are there, dude. She looks great, dude.
WandaVision's got me really excited for Doctor Strange.
I'm excited for Doctor Strange.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yes. Our buddy, Bruce Campbell, recently did a very cryptic tweet about
did the
him
film
being
with that director, starring
with that guy.
Yeah.
And he loved it. So he's worked with Raimi. Obviously, Sam Raimi doing.
I'm happy he's back doing Marvel films.
I am too, man. Thank you. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Sam Raimi, all in it. Ash has been in the Marvel universe. So, is he Ash Williams? Or, and this is my theory, could he be the white Nick Fury from another dimension? Now that would be pretty cool.
Like I said to you personally, if they're going to do that, they need
the
to bring
Hoff.
back the
You
Hoff.
need the Hoff. I do
David
agree.
Hasselhoff,
That would be so cool. And if they do have the Hoff, they're holding it. they're doing a good job of hiding him, dude. Let me tell you what, because the whole Garfield and that slipped like a long fucking time ago. We knew that shit was happening already.
Yeah.
And then of course you just found recently the Mecha Godzilla. If you guys haven't seen the pops,
cannot keep a secret.
if you guys haven't seen the pop Mecha Godzilla, please go look at it. It looks like a reject version of a metal Doomsday from Batman versus Superman. It is bad, man.
Big head.
It does, but even Godzilla has a big head, and it doesn't look. His eyeballs. That's what it is. His eyeballs are like this, man. They're.
But
terrible.
you know what though? Looking at that toy, and you look at that brief scene in the preview where you see that diagram of something's mechanical feet, it lines up. So
It
clearly, clearly in the third act,
And
we're
that's the
gonna get a
31st,
Mechagodzilla.
people. That's this month as well. We have
HBO Max.
HBO
Sign
Max
up.
is they're doing it. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. Like we said, we're hoping within a few more months, everybody's going to be able to walk amongst each other and the movie theater is going to be open. I'll never forget when I saw Endgame and Captain America said Avengers, and then that hammer came back and it went assemble. And dude, I was in that theater, and that theater exploded, dude. And this is why we go to theaters, man. We don't just go to theaters to be next to a stranger and then don't say nothing. Like moments like that, and you hear the crowd erupt and you're screaming and you've been waiting for that. Dude, you got to remember, when we saw Infinity War, with a snap, we lost half of our heroes. And we had to wait a year. A fucking year.
You had to watch Peter Parker vanish, and it was
A year. We
that
had
got you
to
in
wait.
the feels.
It
You got you in the
did.
feels because
And then when you heard a Cap on your left, dude, it was like hairs on you. You
Yeah.
couldn't have. There was the perfect cinematic moment ever. So DC, yes. Do I think that you have this in you? Yes, I do. After watching that last night, did you have that moment? Oh God, no. God, no.
the problem is,
No.
and I think you're agrees with me. They got so impatient with these movies, and you know we've said it before. Man of Steel definitely should have kicked it off.
Yes.
You needed a Man of Steel. If you're going to obviously reboot Batman, they should have done a Batman. Maybe a Man of Steel 2 or something like that. Do something to establish the two main characters.
Yes.
Maybe then do the Wonder Woman movie. Instead of what we got with Batman v... Well, you could have done Batman v Superman.
I think BV Superman could have
But-
happened. I think it could have. I think
but
you
you
still
should
could have
not
had
have
it.
had Doomsday.
Especially no, the Doomsday part I didn't like.
Obviously, in Zach,
The
if that was your idea,
the
that was a bad
Martha
idea.
connection I do like. I made
I
fun
think
of it a
was done
lot.
wrong. It was done wrong.
I make fun of it a lot because it was done wrong. However, the connection is very important because you got to remember, Batman never had a chance.
I never connected that actually until that movie. So it never dawned on me that both their moms' names was Martha.
I agree. But I will say this. That being said, Batman never had the chance to save his mother. And now that he has a chance to do this, this is the connection.
See,
when everybody says,
that's where I think that it all went wrong. They should have made a stronger connection that by obviously Superman's hurt at this point. He's been kryptonite.
and he can't go nowhere. He can't save his mother.
And if they had done a better job of with Batman, like this is my one chance to save my mom or save Martha.
Exactly. He
That
didn't
would've
even have
been
to
so
save
much
his mom.
better.
He didn't even say mom. He could have been like, this is my only chance to save Martha.
And honestly, that's like in that movie. Obviously, the fight with Superman and Batman's great. But
Yeah.
that scene with I think that's where Affleck shined. As
I do
Batman.
too. Absolutely.
When he saves Martha Kent, I was like, that is freaking great.
Dude, that was the great when he goes in there and busts shit open and he's just everywhere. Like that was Batman, prime Batman right there. Like, and he knew what he had to do.
And he's like, I forget what he says, like stand back or I'll kill her, I'll do it. And he's just like, I know you will. And he just fucking launches
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
That was great.
It's perfect. And that's why I said this does work. And those two do work because a lot of the things that a lot of people ask is how are Batman and Superman best friends? Because their lives really do kind
They
of
complement each other.
They do. They complement each other.
Batman is the darkest parts of all of us, and Superman's supposed to be the excuse me,
best
the
of
best
us.
part. And they kind of say that in Justice League.
Yes, they do.
You know, he kind of puts that across.
Right.
You know?
But he is also just like us. He's moody just like us. He wakes up some days pissed off just like us, you know? He hates puppies some days. It happens. It's just the way it goes. The thing is, we never get a chance to see the Boy Scout side of Superman, and I think that's what he's trying to bring up, that we never get this, what we fell in love with.
Right.
Like, we as comic book readers,
We start to get it sometimes, and
it just gets ripped away from us every moment. Every moment that Superman turns into this Boy Scout, it's like you people can't take the Boy Scout in him, and you say, well, he's got to have a little bit of edge to him. No, he doesn't. That's Superman. And that's the reason why when he does break the edge like the Zach Vision is seeing, it's because he is perfect. And he couldn't take that anymore, which is why the epilogue kind of doesn't make sense.
No,
Because if the
there's a
Joker
lot of-
is there, then that means Superman doesn't kill.
Spoiler alert. Snyder kind of sets up Injustice.
No, I agree.
And here's the thing: there's a lot of stuff set up for future movies. We don't know if that's ever going to happen.
No, because
So,
I still
yeah.
feel like they're broken up, and I kind of feel like this is a movie that like it's a dirty, dirty guilt. You know, like it's a dirty guilt trip.
I've brought up my theory on how they could save this whole thing. There's only one way they could do it. And it's not by having Henry Cavill do fucking cameos.
Oh, God.
Which seems to be all they want to do with him.
No, that is all they want.
You know,
it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
There's a way to save this whole DC.
Pay the guy.
thing.
Pay the guy. He deserves it. If not,
You know,
he's gonna be Captain Britain.
No, from what I understand, it's not money. It's not over money. It's just Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they just don't
They
like
hate the
Superman.
character. Yeah,
they
they hate the
just don't
character.
like Superman. They don't like the Boy Scout
DC
aspect.
Comics hates Superman.
Right, exactly.
You know, I mean, look. I don't know if they talked about redoing. What's Valzad?
Oh yeah.
They want to do something with him.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think, or something like that. They got J.J. Abrams involved. Get J.J. Abrams the fuck away
Yeah,
from
please.
Superman.
J.J.
Abrams
Thank
is
you. He
not
destroyed
good.
Superman.
He's not good.
No, we're good with that. We're
He's
absolutely
not
good.
good.
With that.
And he's like, he did horrible with Star Trek, in my opinion. He did horrible with Star Wars. He's not good. Keep J.J. Abrams away from DC. Just keep him away.
Horrible at Star Wars. He was terrible. at Star
If you like those movies, that's fine. I don't.
Hey, we're not hating you. We're not hating you. But I just we're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up here, guys. We really appreciate things. I want to thank you guys all for checking out our newest aspect, Next Millie Round, which that was Ed's baby right there, coming up with that title. We have another one in the works.
Yep.
It was a 2,000 point mixture of Space Marines, Necrons versus Eldar.
Yeah, this is going to be Mike's personal segment.
Yep.
Bringing you step by step through.
This is for our 40K fans.
Yeah, his Warhammer game. Maybe some other games if we're down the pipeline, but this is going to be he'll go over turn by turn, give you a really great impression of how these games are played,
Right.
and how much fun they can be.
And we got a lot of views on that, and I just want to thank everybody that took their time out of there, going out there. Jakers, who is the hand, as we've been joking about. Like, you'll only see the red hand of Jakers. You won't see his face. It's his...
His nickname is Redacted.
So he's
The one
actually...
time we got him in front of a camera.
I know the camera didn't work. That was so funny. And he was actually, I don't care. That's fine. I'll be on the camera, but he wasn't. It was great.
Maybe.
He's going to do
he's
a couple.
a superhero.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's Invisible Man. But he's going to come up with a couple Necron how-tos for you. We're going to actually sit down tomorrow, and we're going to go at the table, and he's going to give you a little Necron one-on-one. 101, I guess you can say, and show you some tactics. So I'm excited about that. So we want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in to us. Some big shout outs to our boys over at the Tabletop Journeys over there. Lee, as you guys know, is a player on both my game and Ed's game, as well as a very, very known, a longtime friend of both of ours for a very long time.
He's in so many games, not just ours. He's a dungeon master. He's a player in a couple games,
Yep.
and he is running the second best RPG podcast.
And actually, right now they are
No, they're
breaking
great.
down. They're breaking down a lot of the newer stuff. I think they just broke down the Ravenloft
Oh, the
book
Van Richten
recently.
guide,
which, if you guys have not checked that out yet, check it out and check out their review of it, because that Van Richten's guide to Ravenloft is fucking fantastic. We broke on before about the whole Ravenloft thing, but if you guys want to do a creepy world, Ravenloft is the way to go.
Definitely.
Trust me.
I miss it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you all very much. Once again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you hit that little bell notification down there. And as always, share us, love us, thumbs up us, and follow www.basementquestgaming.com. We actually have our first newsletter coming out.
Yep, working on a newsletter.
I have the comic strip.
And to get that, you have to
Dungeon Muster coming out.
You have to join the mailing list to get that.
Yes. So make sure you go to www.basementquestgaming.com and go to that mailing list, sign up, and you will get that newsletter direct to you. We're going to have some things that we followed up on the show, some little nitbits and little news clip picks, and surprises.
I love surprises.
I like surprises.
I love surprises.
But guys, we love y'all very much. Like we said, make sure you're sharing the crap out of us. And any suggestions, any questions, hit those comments down there below. And we love you.
Release the Jenkins cut.
Hashtag Jenkins cut.